Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris McAloon, and I am the Assistant Director for Instructional Technology at Lawrence Township Schools. Tonight, I bring you a video to explain an exciting opportunity to help support our students in Lawrence Township Schools get access to integrated STEM curriculum that is community-based and is connected with real problems out in the Lawrence community. The purpose of this video is to try to replace a meeting that we were supposed to hold on November 15th of 2018. And unfortunately, due to weather and an early spat of winter weather, we got iced out. So school was canceled across central Indiana for an ice storm that hit. And so tonight I bring you some of the key details that we were hoping to share in our meeting through this video. So this was the meeting agenda. This is what it looked like, what we were going to do. We were hoping to kind of introduce face-to-face ourselves to you and speak with each of you about the STEM Advisory Council and what we're even talking about. We were going to dive into some of the details of that Advisory Council plan, including what are the roles of internal and external partners on the council. We also were going to talk about the 9 Lawrence Township STEM for All strategic objectives, one of which is to develop this council. So this is strategic objective number 5. But of those 9, we wanted to talk through kind of what those are and how they're driving change in Lawrence Township right now. What we've done is we've spun that off into a separate video. So this video is going to focus really on agenda items number 1 and 2, with agenda item number 3 on a separate video that'll be sent out at a later time. Into that. So the vision for this advisory council is that it would be a group of teachers, administrators, parents, and community partners drawn from business and higher education that will offer advice and counsel to the Lawrence Township STEM curriculum administrators. So as we move forward making decisions about what curricula and learning opportunities we can provide our students, we're looking for advice and counsel from you, from teachers, administrators, parents, from really everybody. And this council will sit as and work as a mechanism to try to advise on some of the relevancy and the quality of the STEM curriculum that we're providing our students. The specific outcomes, and there's some detail to this, the specific outcomes and what we'd be doing include first, strategic planning. So when something comes down from the state or changes are made, grant opportunities are made available, things like that, we may reach out to the council to ask advice on what direction we ought to go. Which way should we go in terms of a grant? Which way should we go in terms of maybe equipment or making purchases, key acquisitions, things like that. And maybe which way should we go? How does something like a shift in testing procedures, maybe, how does that impact the way that we've developed our performance task library, something along those lines. The second outcome would be lesson and project tuning. So looking at our existing library of performance tasks and how can we make them better? How can we make them more relevant? How can we connect those to the community? That's really one of the big pieces that we'd be looking to do with this council. The third one, and this one's really big, and 3 and 4 I would say are tightly aligned. We would be looking for this council to begin to asset map, meaning we would find what assets we have at our disposal, what are the resources that we have at the high school level, at the middle school level, what resources do we have at the community level, the city level, what type of resources are out there that we could tap into to help build more robust STEM experiences for our students. That will include developing a community partnership pool. So the example I like to give is from my own teaching experience. My background is actually not in STEM. My background was in teaching constitutional law. And in my constitutional law class, one of the things that we did is argued cases in front of judges and lawyers. And so each one of my students had the opportunity to present a case to a judge or a lawyer, either at school, or even we sometimes went on the road and went down to the School of Law of IU, or downtown to the State Court of Appeals. Well, in order to facilitate all of that, took a tremendous amount of work in terms of building connections and getting to know all of the different players at the judicial level, as well as in various law firms. And that would not have been possible if it weren't for the fact that I had a retired teacher that worked right alongside me to provide those connections and facilitate that work. And so we believe that in order for similar authentic audience like those judges and lawyers to be provided to these STEM performance tasks, we would like to develop a structure or a system to try to reduce the friction between the lower level, the teacher level, and the community partner. And so that's the role of that community partnership pool. It really would be kind of like a directory, wherein the central office, specifically our STEM coordinator, would sit between the community partners and teachers and build those bridges and build those connections with pre-planned experiences that are tied to standards, that have clearly defined roles for both the community partner and for the teacher and for the kids. It would allow the teachers to just teach, the community partners to come in with a set of known expectations of what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be helping and assisting with that STEM project. And then we do a lot of the scheduling and the setup. So it frees the teacher from having to know the people or have the time to build out the schedule. If you think about other teachers, I wasn't unique. There's lots of teachers that have these types of experiences for their kids, but so often it's built on those personal relationships. So the teacher who happens to know someone at the zoo, or the teacher who happens to know somebody at a hospital or a university, oftentimes that relationship builds into one of these authentic experiences for just their students. And while awesome and amazing, and oftentimes very, very high quality, that is not sustainable in terms of being able to scale across all kids. And so our hope, our goal would be to build a system or a structure through this advisory council that would connect community partners with the classroom teacher. So what does that look like for an external partner? If you're an external partner out there and you're considering participating in this council, there really are 3 layers of support that you could potentially provide our district, and that's what we're looking to build. The bottom one, number 3, I'll start there. Number 3 is what I just described. That would just be kind of as simple as being willing to provide your time to assist in STEM projects and STEM performance tasks at the school level. This is getting your hands dirty, working with the kids. It could be anywhere from on the front end, helping to the students when they're into a problem. So they're into a community-based problem. One example might be we're going to design wings for a flyer, and everyone's going to test their wings to see who can fly the farthest, right? And so we may have scientists from the field, engineers from the field that come in and work with our kids on engineering those wings and helping them think through the various science and math application that is needed to design wings for the planes. On the back end of it, you also could see engineers or various folks coming in as an authentic audience. So in this sense, at the kind of the culmination of the design process, students would present their solutions to a panel or to a specific person and say, here's what we came up with. Here's the solution that we had. One example I can give of this was at Belzer Middle School last year. We had scientists from the biology department at Michigan State University who virtually connected with our honors biology students, who presented on their research around various genetic alterations to key crops that could be made to help solve world hunger. So there was like a corn group, there was a maize group, or a corn group, like a wheat group, maybe a rice group, and each group looked at their crop, decided what genetic alterations are possible and what they might make to that crop. And then if those genetic alterations were made, pitch to the audience why that would wind up helping solve world hunger. Presenting that to a teacher, to other classmates is one thing, but Skyping with a set of scientists who are actually doing this exact work from Michigan State University and delivering that information to them really takes the stakes of the presentation up to a different level, provides students the opportunity to communicate with adults and get comfortable communicating with adults, and really causes them to kind of hold themselves accountable in a very, very different way. And so, again, that having that connection to an authentic audience of experts from the field really enriches that experience for students, and is something that we're hoping to build on that level 3, the partner pool or directory. The second tier above that is site support. So one potential outcome of our work would be that every school will have its own STEM council, and that STEM council will be kind of a spin-off or a mini subset of the district advisory group. And so those site support groups will need partners, community partners, businesses, parents, folks at that community level that are willing to talk through STEM integration at the school building level and discuss what the needs are at the specific site for the plan that school is developing around STEM integration and the various projects that they're going to be putting in place. That is going to be, that's kind of bumped back, if you will. So our first directive is to build the district advisory council. The next step would be to develop the site specific ones. So tonight, what we're really asking for is for interest in those that would be willing to sit on the district advisory council. And that district advisory council would do a number of different things, but among them would be advising the district strategically on how to structure these partnerships and what the needs of business and what the needs of various community partnerships would be in terms of how best to structure this to maximize their time, and make sure that we are being as accommodating as possible to make this as relevant an experience as we can for our community partners, and not just our students. And so your voice at the table is really important because that informs our decisions. The second piece is being having eyes from the community on our STEM performance tasks and being able to look at them through the lens of what is relevant in today's market and what is relevant in today's problem-solving process. And so having a set of eyes from the field on these various performance tasks, I think, will help us shape some of the decision-making around what the student task actually is, some of the content, and maybe even just giving advice on how best to incorporate community partners inside of that performance task. So it's kind of just giving your perspective and your eyes on these ideas that we have, so that we can make better informed decisions before we send them out into the wild and really pull people in and start using other people's time. So the way that district advisory seat would work is we would host quarterly meetings, and we would probably have some regular digital communication that would go out weekly, maybe monthly, about various decisions and advice opportunities. So that's the external partners. Internally, we'll also have district advisory seats. And again, we're just looking for those that are volunteering, wanting to help out. They would participate in those quarterly advisory meetings and be part of that regular digital communication. And again, that district advisory council, the outcomes really are about advising on the performance tasks, advising on any changes coming from the state and the structure of our STEM initiative right now, key acquisitions, so looking at makerspace equipment and things like that, and helping advise the district on what the best path forward would be. The second opportunity for internal partners would be to be part of that site host team. So as we consider going down the path, and this would be next school year, of forming these school-based mini councils, if you will, we're going to be looking for individuals at the building level that are willing to kind of step up and help organize those meetings and those relationships with our community partners that are willing to support your school specifically. So next steps, last but not least. If you're interested in learning more, and I hope you are, we are excited to have community partners and internal partners start to join the council. You can go to this link. It is case sensitive. So it would be bit.ly/LTSTEM-council, and LTSTEM council's all cap locks. So if you can follow that link, that'll take you to a Google form. If you fill out the form, it is not a commitment by any stretch of the imagination. Instead, by filling out the form, what you're doing is just showing interest. You're just acknowledging that you'd like to learn more, and we will reach out to you sometime probably in early December once we've let the form kind of go out into the wild a little bit and get some information from you, and then we'll contact you and talk about next steps and where we're going to go from there. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I hope that you had a safe day despite the icy road conditions, and we look forward to getting back to school tomorrow and hearing back from everyone that's interested in participating in our council. Good night.